Hello, Enthusiastic Steve here, and I'm just going to do a video on the new Wouxun KG, let's get this one right, KG-UV8 Golf or 8G. This is the very first available 2 meter and 4 meter dual band handheld radio. Not been one available before. Wouxun have made 2 meter 77 radios, and they also do some very nice 4 meter single band ones. But this is a dual bander. It comes from Martin Lynch and Sons, who those who know Martin Lynch of Martin Lynch and Sons Emporium up in Staines, just outside London. He contacted Wouxun and he asked if they could actually manufacture one of these radios, because he saw there was a demand for it, and they did. They listened, and they've now produced a very competent little radio. So this is not an unboxing session, so let's get straight into it and have a look at the radio. Straight out the box, this radio's got a lovely bit of weight to it, a good feel in the hand. Here it is assembled with the antenna that comes supplied. One of the first things you notice when you switch the radio on is its coloured display. Absolutely crystal clear and easy to read. On the rear of the radio, you've got the rear of the battery with 3 charging contacts and the Wouxun logo emblazed across it. The battery is 7.4 volts DC and rated at 3,200 milliamps. Quite a substantial little battery. With the battery removed, exposing the rear of the inside of the radio, you can see where Wouxun have actually engraved into this metal chassis MLS and Sons Limited. At this point in time, MLS and Sons are the only importers in the UK of this radio. This radio is not actually rated as waterproof, but I think it could survive a light shower, a few drops here and there. It's very well made. And if you look closely on the side panel where the actual speaker or mic goes into, there's a big solid screw, and there is actually a rubber seal underneath this, so it's going to keep the dust out at least, and possibly a little bit of moisture. Removing the side panel shows you the actual rubber seal inside. Standard 2 pins. It's a Kenwood fit. Therefore, normal Kenwood accessories like external microphone will fit into it, no problems whatsoever. Well, that was a brief taste of what the actual radio looks like. So let's have a look at it in the flesh now. Now I've got the actual radio here in front of me. As you can see, it's a solidly built, sturdy little radio. Good little bit of thickness there to it. It's good to hold in the hand. We've got to the screen. There's not nothing on the screen. It's just a plastic film. I've just hooked it slightly. Quite a large little speaker there, which gives good audio. You'll see or hear that a little bit later. Standard type of keypad. Turning it over, we've got the PTT button there. Nice, good, solid little click there. 2 programmable little buttons as well with different options. Turning the screen, turning it over, we've got to the back of the radio. We've got the very large, solid battery there. Wouxun emblazed on it. The actual charging terminals. It comes off with the little clip there, a little spring clip. You used to slide out and a battery pops off. And on the side there, we've got the dust cover for the external microphone, earpiece, whatever you wish to use it for. Again, it's like I said, I think it's splash proof or dust proof. It's not totally waterproof. On the top, we've got a on-off and a volume control. There we go. And the bottom, the control next to it is the channel tuning knob, Vfo tuning knob. It's not the squelch. Here we have the antenna. Supplied antenna comes with it. It's a dual band, 2 meter, 4 meter antenna. It's a little bit short, I think, for 4 meters. I think it's probably around about an eighth wave on there. But it works, and it's probably so it might be with the coil loading about a 1/4 wave on 2 meters. It's actually marked up. You can't see it too well there, but it's actually marked up as a 2 meter and 4 meter antenna. And as you can see, it's an SMA connector with the pin inside there. Pretty standard. It's got a flashlight as well, like most Chinese radios. So nothing there unusual. The menu control, if you've used any of the Chinese radios before, the menu is very, very similar indeed. There's a few extra bells and whistles on this one. You know, it has an FM radio as well, like most of the Chinese radios. There's a few other options on here. And it's about 56 different options in the menu in total. So, yeah, it doesn't take you long to actually navigate the way through that. Narrow, wide, bandwidths, power settings. 3 power settings on this. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, because there's a little bit of uncertainty with the power settings on these radios. There seems a bit of a divided opinion of what the output is, but we'll come to that a little bit later, that one. But that's the radio. So let's have a look at the display on this thing. One of the options available on startup is to actually have the battery power voltage displayed. You're then presented with this amazingly clear display. You can adjust the colours. You can have a white background with black writing, or as I've chosen it here, a black background that looks a bit blue with the white writing. This is dual Vfo mode with the 4-meter band as the main band. Switching Vfos, which is just a single press of one button, will then bring up the 2-meter band as the prominent, with the 4-meter one below. Both Vfos are independent, so you can actually monitor both Vfo A and B simultaneously. Alternatively, you can have a single Vfo. Here I've just got the 4-meter band showing. The radio, like other Chinese radios, and there's no difference, has a memory bank or memory banks. You can store quite a few channels on here, name them as well. I did this using computer software, though you can do it from the keypad direct. You can also set these up as a scan function and scan particular channels in that memory. I mentioned it's got a standard Kenwood 2-pin connect on the side for an external microphone or earpiece. So the one I've been using is this little Kenwood microphone. The model is a SMC34. It's got separate adjustable audio or volume and a plug-in at the base for an earpiece if you wish it. The radio comes with a base charging unit. It's meant to be an intelligent one. Standard stuff, glows red when it's charged and glows green when it's charged. And Martin Lynch and Sons had the forethought of asking Wouxun to supply it with the correct plug for the UK. And there it is there on display. So how does this little Wouxun compare in stature to other radios? Well, here we have it stood up with, on the far left, a Vfo DMR, a Vfo GT3. We've got the Linko DJ MD5 next to that, a Connect Systems DMR next to that, and then the Wouxun. So, from what you've seen so far, this radio, what do you think so far? My personal views are it's a very good little radio. It's well made. It's come into the market. There's a lot of 4-meter enthusiasts in the UK, especially here down in the south of England where I live. Regular big nets. I know some parts of the country I regularly hear on the certain Facebook pages and web pages, you know, that the band is dead. It's far from dead. The amount of volume of 4-meter radios out there, it just needs people to key up and press the talk button and call out. Generally, you will always somewhere, hopefully, fingers crossed, get somebody come back. I always, if I monitor 450, if somebody calls out, I always go back to them out of politeness, just to encourage conversation. All part of the fun of the hobby, isn't it? So this little Wouxun, hopefully more and more people get them, more and more people get out and about. There'll be more people on the band, be busier. Now, from a power setting, I did say, didn't I? There was a little bit of controversy about this. I'm going to put this down and pick up my notepad. Now, it's not clear what power settings this radio is meant to put out. It's a little bit unclear. The manual says 10 watts. Just says 10 watts, VHF. Its closest cousin is the 2-meter 77s radio, which I believe, reading from here, again says a high power 10 watts. But I get people telling me that they are achieving upwards to 14 or 15 watts output on this radio on 4 meters. Now, depends how people are measuring this, of course, the accuracy of their meters, the patchly coax in between the meter and the radio, it all has an effect. I think 14, 15 watts is a little optimistic, but not impossible. Now, these are my findings on this particular radio. And considering it's meant to be potentially a 10 watt output, this did surprise me. Let me start off with the 2 meter band. Now, there are 3 power settings: low, medium and high. On the low, now this is being transmitted from the radio through a power meter into my external 5/8 wave antenna. It's got very low SWR, so this is real world. I'm getting 0.7 of a watt on low power, 6.8 watts on medium power, but on high power 12.2 watts output. So realistically 14, 15 watts does not sound that impossible, but 4 meters not quite as good. Higher on low 1.35 watt output, medium slightly lower 4.7 watts, and on high 8 watts, 8.0 watts, 8 watts dead. Now that is with a fully charged battery, absolutely topped up battery straight into the antenna. Somebody then put on the one of the Facebook pages when I posted these results up on there, and they said, what about a dummy load? You need to put it into a dummy load to get a true figure. So I did, and what happened? The VHF went up by 0.2 of a watt. That's the 2 meter VHF, and the 4 meter dropped by 0.2 of a watt. So not a great deal in it. But in reality, as soon as you start using the radio and the voltage just to drop a little bit, you're getting about, I find I'm only getting about 6 to 6.5 watts output on the actual 4 meter band, which is a little bit disappointing, but it's better than a lot of handheld radios. A lot of handheld radios advertised at 4 or 5 watts don't actually put out 4 or 5 watts. Now, I'm running this through the coax, through a power meter and out. What I haven't had the chance to do is actually put a power meter between the supplied antenna and the radio. That might well be 10 or 12 watts output. I don't know. So these are just my findings from my external aerial or into a dummy load. I'm actually getting, like I said, anywhere between 6.5 and 8 watts on the 4 meter band. Now, I tried this antenna, I tried the radio with an internal antenna, the rubber duck supplied, and I'm getting between 4 and 6 miles, signal reports of 5x7 coming back. So it does work, and that's from inside this actual room here. And I'm on a hill, but not in the general direction of where I was talking. There's a big mound of earth over that way, and it went over around that, and it was still going about 4 to 6 miles. So there we go. So the supplied antenna does work. Of course, an external antenna, if you're out and about portable, would be better. Right, let's have a look at a little bit of video I shot, some on the receive from a local net, just to give you some idea of audio quality, and then we'll take it out in the field and we'll try it outside with an external antenna.
Hello CQ, 4 meters, this is G3XUX, Golf 3 X-ray, Uniform X-ray. G3XUX calling, hello CQ4 meter phone, this is G3XUX, Golf 3 X-ray, Uniform X-ray. G3XUX calling CQ4 meter phone, I'm standing by.
G3XUX on the group, G0GFD, sounds like a good name for a song, doesn't it? Not Fade Away. I can hear Steve, no problem.
Is there anyone else out there this morning? This is G3XUX and the Echo Victor Net.
G3XUX, this is Mike Sits Whiskey Victor Victor Handheld.
Okay, I got Norman, G4BPN.
Didn't hear me.
And Steve.
Oh, he did.
M6 Whiskey Victor Victor. And Steve's on a handheld, so some people may be having trouble with him, but
Norman.
G4BPN, this is G3XUX.
I'll just pause it there in a minute. But the handheld's working. G3XUX is over the other side of Wickham, which is about 3.5–4 miles from here, and there's a big mound of earth between us. So, and I'm sat in my back room, my Radio Shack room, so it's working quite well. Happy at the moment, just on the internal whip. Right, we've found some users on a channel. Break. Right, we'll have a try and break in a minute and see if one of those is G3XUX. I recognise as Ted, who's probably about 6 miles away that way. So not a massive challenge, but great audio. Listen to that. This is somewhere about 40 miles away. So it's coming through loud and clear. There is some other interference up here because unfortunately up this where I am located there are some strong antennas, PMR antennas. So I think I'm picking up a little bit of interference from there. There's a mast literally about 150 yards that way behind me with some PMR on it. Very strong digital signals. Right, back inside in a little bit warmer conditions at the moment. It is really getting colder. There's frost already forming out there on the grass. It works. The handheld, lovely clear audio, to be honest, out the speaker. It's got good volume. Ideal if you're outside with a bit of wind blowing and other background noises going on. So pretty good. Power output to me, still a little bit down. I think it's only putting out about 6.5 watts. The other contact, I'd say Ted G3XUX, is hearing me loud and clear, but he's only about 4, maybe 5, plus 5, maybe 6 miles away. Being a little bit optimistic, but he's picking me up loud and clear, as I was him. And I was picking up the station out there in Wiltshire, which is from my location here, probably about 45 miles. I'm on a hilltop location, not that high, probably about 350 feet above sea level, and just using a Viper antenna. It's a decent antenna. It works really well. The 5/8 with Thunderbolt one I was tested before in another video works slightly better, and that's what I like to try up here on a hilltop. The angle of elevation of RF is slightly lower, which would probably help getting to Wiltshire. But yeah, nevertheless, it does work. A little bit unfortunate with the I've never operated from that actual location before, and it's a shame that the PMR antennas nearby, and they were, as I turned around on the pack the equipment away, they are literally sticking up above the brow of the field about 150 yards away, and there's 2 of them. So they were sending out digital data burst in the 180, I believe, 180 megahertz area, and they were causing a little bit of bleed over, unfortunately. Not a fault of the radio, I don't think. I think any radio would not cope too well being that close to quite a powerful little transmitter there. So I'm off to get a nice warm cup of tea and stitch this video together, and we'll see how it all turns out. So what do we conclude from this so far then? Personally, these are my own personal thoughts. It's a good radio. I've got no negatives really, other than the power output. I would like to see possibly a little bit more, 6.5 watts out on 4 meters. Again, it might actually be higher with just the whip antenna. I don't know. The whip antenna does work. It's been getting me out between 6.5 miles, 6 miles say, from inside my house here. So that's brilliant. I've been out on the hillside and give it a quick go. The audio quality from the speaker is fantastic. I've programmed in marine band frequencies. Yeah, it works as a little scanner as well. No qualms with that whatsoever. The programming software, I will say, at the moment, as the time I'm recording this, there is no dedicated programming software purely for the G model. But the H model The H model version will work. If you go onto the Wouxun World Wide Web website and follow the links for the software, it says the G model, but when you open it up, it's actually the H. It does work, no problems whatsoever. But again, you can program this radio like most Chinese radios from the actual front panel itself. It can be a little bit tricky at times to program it from there, but a bit of patience, cup of tea, and you've got it done. And to be honest, apart from a couple of 2-meter local repeaters, if it wasn't for the marine band ones, I wouldn't actually have to program anything else in there. So it's ready to go. It comes with, well, the first batch from Martin Lynch and Sons came with the program software and program cable. I believe later batches that will be a separate. Price point, £99.95, I think, or 99, so it's just under £100, give or take a few pence here in the UK. And the program and cable, again, I think it's around about £16-ish if you was to buy it separate in the future. But there you go. Keep an eye out for special deals, I'd say. No doubt Martin Lynch and his sons will do you a good deal if you speak to them. I think currently, as I speak, the first batch is completely sold out. So it shows how popular this radio is. New supplies are due in any time. So keep on to Mr. Lynch and his sons, and they will keep you informed of when these next ones are coming out. So thumbs up from Enthusiastic Steve. Fantastic product. As it's coming up to Christmas, as I record this, 73s to everybody around the world. Stay safe. Merry Christmas to you and your families. And look out for my videos in the future. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe. Share as well as much as you can. And it does my morale good to see some viewing figures and that. So well done all. Thank you very much indeed. This has been Enthusiastic Steve saying 73s.